Good morning, Undanda. This is V. Senthil Vela. I am new to this department. Before going into the subject, I would like to introduce myself. I have completed my BA Economics, MA Economics, and MPhil Economics in Vaishnava College, and I am an university rank holder with ninth rank in MA Economics. And I completed my MBA in TNMU, and I completed my BEd in Shivaji College of Education, and I'm doing my part-time PhD in Pachavas College under the guidance of Maya Krishnan. I have cleared my set examination in economics and the tenth examination in management. I'm, I've been transferred from business economics to BBA department. We'll move on to human resources management functions now. Before going into the human resources management function, I would like to tell what is human resources management. The already Professor R.K. Madam has given the explanation for human resources management and its scope, but still before going to the functions of HRM, I'll just do what is human resources management. So what is human resources management? Human resources management is a strategic approach to the effective management of people in a company or organization such that they help the business gain a competitive advantage. It is designed to maximize employee performance in service of an employee's strategic objectives. So human resources management definition is very simple. See, whatever may be the company, whether it's a small company or a big company or a big corporate giant like TCS or Infosys or Wipro, there there will be one vision for the particular company, and there is a goal or the objectives of the company. So to achieve the objectives of the company or to attain the goals of the company, they require human resources manpower to drive the target. For that reason only, human resources management is playing a vital role in any organization. So human resource organization is designed to maximize employee performance in service of an employee's strategic objectives. So once the employee's performance is maximized or once the employee's performance is derived or once the employee's performance is scaled up to a new level, automatically the company's performance will go up. That is the reason why human resources department is vital for any organization. Who is the father of HR? Who is the father of human resources management? It's Mr. George Elton Mayo is the father of human resources management. Who is Elton Mayo? Elton Mayo was an Australian. He born in Adelaide from South Australia on 26 December 1880, and he was the first guy who used the term human resources management. So that is the reason why his name was regarded as the father of human resources management. So after 20 years in Australia, he moved to Surrey in Britain, and he served for more than 48 years, and he have found many he have written many articles and journals about human resources management and how human resource management should work. Now, now let's go on to functions of human resources management. See, human resources management (HRM) is broadly classified into three major classifications. First one is operative function, second one is managerial function, third one is advisory function. So this operative function is now again further subdivided into six major categories. This managerial function is again further subdivided into four categories. Advisory function is again classified into two major categories. These things we will study in next upcoming slides. Now, before going to the functions of HR, I would like to tell a small incident which has happened when I was HR. in entertainment companies. So what happened? I was taking care of Tamil Nadu and Kerala as an HR manager. One of our employee who's having 6 month old baby, that baby was suffering from a peculiar disease, and that particular disease will affect out of 1 crore people, one child will be affected by this diseases. So I'll tell you what is the disease. The disease is very simple. If the child is playing, nothing will happen. If the child is walking or if the child is doing anything, nothing will happen to the child. Automatically, all the organs, everything will work fine. But if the child starts sleeping, after 15 minutes, all the organs of the body, brain, heart, lungs, liver, kidney, everything will slowly stop functioning. So once they are slowly stop their function, what will happen is child will feel breathing problem. Immediately he will get up. Immediately he will wake up and he will start crying. So this kid was admitted in Viluppuram district, Viluppuram hospital, and the employee has spent more than 3 lakh rupees. See, each and every company will give its employee a compensation and benefits. Say for example, medical insurance. Medical insurance is the benefit given to the employee, not only for the employee but also for the family of the employee. So what happened? 3 lakh rupees was the maximum eligibility limit for that particular employee. But already this employee has spent 3 lakh rupees in Viluppuram hospital, and the kid was from normal position to has come down to serious position. So what they have suggested that hospital of the Viluppuram district has directed the child to Chennai hospital. It's one of the biggest hospital in Chennai. So the employee has taken the baby to the Chennai hospital. In Chennai hospital, again he is spending some 4-5 lakh rupees. In the meantime, this employee has called me and he informed the status and he asked me whether is there any possibility of getting insurance because already insurance coverage of 3 lakh rupees was already over. So I said, okay, I'll get back to you in 30 minutes. And what I have done, I have spoken to my regional human resources officer. When I spoken to my regional human resources officer, he asked me to send a mail with a detailed report of the child as well as about the employee. So I've sent a mail to the regional human resource officer. In turn, the regional human resource officer has sent a mail to the chief human resource officer (CHRO), chief human resource officer who sits in Mumbai, and he explained the conditions of the child and the employee. Within 10 minutes, we got the approval from the company stating that this particular only for this particular employee, the insurance cover was revised to 10 lakh rupees and the premium will be paid by the company. So what happened? Now this employee has got adequate with financial support from the company. So by God grace, the child was now cured and now he is doing good. So why I am telling this story? Everyone might have thought that everyone is having a perception that HR job is very simple. Only two things HR will do, hiring and firing. That is not the HR job. That is only a part of HR job. See, HR job is not only with hiring and firing, it also have lot of jobs to do. This hiring job and firing job is only 10% of the job what they are doing. Now we will discuss about the functions of HR. First one is operation function. This operation function is further subdivided into 6 categories. First one is requirement. What is requirement? Requirement is the first function, training and development, professional development, compensation and benefits, performance appraisal, ensuring legal compliances. These are the six major classifications of operative functions. What is requirement? See, requirement, this is the most challenging task for any HR manager. A lot of attention and resources are required to draw, employ, and hold prospective employees. So, before selecting the employee, the HR job is very, very difficult because we have to select the appropriate manpower for the appropriate posting. We should not select a sales guy to a service department, and a guy who knows sales cannot be selected for a service department, or a guy who don't know sales cannot be deployed into sales job. So by interviewing the employee, the HR will come to know the status of the job seeker. So requirement is the most challenging task for an HR manager. So a lot of elements go into this function of requirement, like developing a job description, publishing the job posting, sourcing the prospective candidate, interviewing, salary negotiations, and making the job offer. See, the job requirement involves a lot of steps. One is job description. What is job description? It's creating the job posting. If suppose if it's a telecom industry, if it is a telecom industry who are selling postpaid connection, then salesman, sales manager, area sales manager, circle sales manager. These are the postings to be created for the sales department. After sales, service department, installation department, collection department, cancellation department. There are a lot of departments has to be created, and then once the job posting is created, there should be an advertisement in the news media. Nowadays it is in social media, newspaper, television, whatever thing is possible for HR, they will definitely will advertisement. Okay. What will happen once advertisement when to publish the post advertisement posting, they will set the appropriate candidate for the appropriate job. Next, interviewing. How they are selecting the appropriate candidate by interview method. What is interview method? This interview method is there are some 8 to 10 methods are there in interview. That interview method we will discuss elaborately in the upcoming units. Salary negotiations. So you might have thinking that what is salary negotiations? What HR is going to do with the salary negotiation of the employee? Yes, something to see. Whether it's a small company or big company, there is going to be a budget for each and every department. Say, for example, if it is a corporate company, they will allot some 10 lakh rupees for sales department for salary, for 8 lakh rupees for service department for salary and other marketing related activities, for 10 lakh rupees for IT department for systems and other accessories. So HR's role is to acquire the manpower or to select the manpower or to deploy the manpower based on the budget what he has got. If suppose if the budget is 7 lakhs for a sales manager per annum, and if suppose there are 10 candidates are applying for the job, and one guy has got a very good experience, handful of experience, and he is coming from the competition company, but he is expecting 10 lakh rupees salary. With HR, you know he will not give, so he will negotiate the salary and he will try to get the skilled manpower because he knows this guy is appointed or this guy is de- deployed, then the target what is fixed for the company is easily achievable. So what he will do, he will negotiate with the employee and he will hire him for 7.5 lakhs or 8 lakhs. These are the activities done by the HR. Next, training and development. What is training and development doing? See, for each and every company, whether it's a small company or a big company or corporate world, there is going to be a training for each and every employee. And most of the guys are thinking that training will be given only to the new or a fresh candidate. It is not so. See, for fresh graduate, for fresh candidates, the training is all about product, process, and policy of the company. First, they will train the freshers to know what are the products available in the company, what is the what are the process available in the company, what are the policies company is following, what are the policies as an employee we should follow. So these are the three major things training will be given as a training in the training session. And for even for an experienced guy also there is going to be training. If suppose if there is a new product is launched in a company, so the existing employee should know what is the product name. So for that there will be some training. There will be a training given to the existing employee so that they will aware of the product. Then only they can go and hit the market. Otherwise, they if they don't know what is the product launched today, they will definitely they will not. They if they don't know the process or product name, then how will they enter the market and how will they achieve the target? So training will be given on a regular basis for freshers as well as for experienced guys. For freshers, it is called induction, and for experienced work, it's called training. So this training is again separated into two types. One is on-the-job training, second one is off-the-job training. I will explain you on-the-job training and off-the-job training in the coming section because I think we have a training unit in the syllabus as well. I think so. We will discuss in details about this training in next chapter. So training and development, on-the-job training is the responsibility of the HR department. Fresher training may also be provided by some companies for both new hires and existing employees. This fresh training is mainly done to make the employees up to date in their respective areas as required by the company. This function makes the employees understand the process and makes it easy for them to get on their jobs with much ease. During the process of the training and development, the results are monitored and measured to find out if the employees require any new skills in addition to what he already has. So training is not only for the fresher, even for the experienced guy or who are working for a long time. See, the human resources manager (HR) will keep an eye on each and every employee and their performance. If the performance of a particular employee is not satisfactory, obviously they will call that employee and they will put him under some training. Why? Because companies will be having some target and goals or objectives to achieve. If the employee is not doing good, definitely company will not do good. If the employee is doing good, 100% company will achieve the target and company will do good. So that is the reason why the HR managers or HR are keeping a close watch at the employees, what they are doing, how they are performing and all. Third one is professional development. What is professional development? This is a very important function of human resources management. This function helps the employees with the opportunity for growth, education, and management training. The organization undertakes to sponsor their employees for various seminars, trade shows, and corporate responsibilities. This in turn makes the employees feel that they have been taken care by their superiors and also the organization. See, personal development. This it's an important function of HRM. This function is the employees the opportunity for growth. So there should be an opportunity for growth in the company. Otherwise, employee will get demotivated. If the employee is demotivated, automatically his performance will come down. Once his performance is come down, company's performance will automatically come down. So by motivating the employees, by sending him for seminars, trade shows, or corporate events, so this employee will feel that okay, so company is doing something for me, so I have to contribute to the company as much as possible. This is what the professional development is all about. Once the development of an employee is continues to grow, automatically the company's growth is assured. Next is compensation and benefits. A company can, I told you one small incident what has happened when I was in HR. So it comes under this compensation and benefits. See, company will not only taken care of the employees, but it also taken care of the employees' family as well. For that only, I told one small story. I think you might have remembered that story. Okay. So a company can attain its goals and objectives if it can acclimatize to new ways of providing benefits to the employers. Some of the benefits given by companies are listed below for our understanding. Working hour flexibility, extended vacation, medical insurance, maternal and paternal leave, education reimbursement for children. So what is working hour flexibility? See, in certain companies, you can come at any time and you can go at any time, but you have to work for 8 hours, especially in call center. You can work in call center according to your comfort. There is no time. You have to come at 9 o'clock and you have to sit and work till 6 o'clock. After 6:30 only you can leave. It's not like that. Suppose if you are working in a call center, you are once you log in your time starts there. If you log out your time ends there. Again you have to log in, so 8 hours you have to work on that particular day. You can work from morning 6 to 10, again you can take rest, again you can work from evening 6 to 10, so it comes to 8 hours. That's not an issue. So this is the flexibility, or this is the fac- facility given to the employees. These working hour flexibility will, you can see it in customer care, especially in the call center jobs. Next, extended vacations. Most of the corporate companies are offering TA to the employees. TA means traveling allowance to the employees and his family. So yearly once they can go for a vacation and can take spend 3 to 4 days. It depends upon the company. Means in certain company in few companies they will give 3 days vacation holiday. Some companies they give 5 days or 10 days. It depends upon the company, but they'll give some holidays and vacation for employees to refresh themselves, because if they are in a sales job, they will be under a lot of pressure to achieve the target. So they will get depressed. So to refresh the employees, the traveling allowance will be given by the company. Medical insurance. Most of the companies nowadays are offering medical insurance to all its employees. By paying, if an employee must have paid some 100 rupees, 200 rupees per month. It goes up to 1,000, 1,500 rupees. Depends upon the company and the package salary what they are getting. So for that, the company will give some 3 lakh rupee benefit, insurance benefit to the employee as well to his family, so that the employee will feel that he is secure, that his family is secure, even if any uncertainty is happening. So they doesn't have to worry about the finance, because medical insurance is there, medical card is there, so they can go to any hospital and they can cure themselves. So these are the benefits given by the HRM. Next one is maternal and paternal. What is maternal and paternal leave? See, maternal leave and paternal leave is nothing but the, suppose if it is a women staff, if she give birth to a new baby, she'll be given a holiday of 9 months. Earlier it was 6 months, now it has gone up to 9 months. 9 months leave with pay. We should not cut the pay for that 9 months. As far as men are concerned, paternity leave will be around 3 days to 5 days. That's it with pay. So there should not be any salary cut on this 3 days to 5 days. It depends upon the company. Some companies will give 3 days, some companies will give 5 days. Next is educational reimbursement for children. Educational reimbursement for children is nothing but the employee might have so two kids, one or two kids, and they may be studying in the schools, and in that particular school they will be collecting a tuition fees of 20,000, 30,000 rupees. That tuition fees can be paid by the the company will reimburse the tuition fees to the employees. These are the benefits given to the employees to motivate the employees to reduce the attrition rate. You know what is attrition rate? Attrition is nothing but the employees resigning the job. The HR's policy is the HR's one more target for HR is to reduce the attrition rate. See, if they are hiring 100 people this month, if tomorrow 80 people is going out, then there is there is a problem in the system. So HR role is to reduce the attrition rate. So this attrition rate and all we will discuss later. Next one is performance appraisal. What is performance appraisal? See, performance appraisal is nothing but the report card for the employees. Based on the performance given by the employee will be rated as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or A, B, C, D. In some companies, the employee's performance will be rated as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In some companies, it will be rated as A, B, C, D. So one will be the least and 5 will be the highest grade, and A will be the highest grade and D will be the lowest grade in certain companies. So it depends upon the grade, the employee's performance will be assessed. Why should we assess them? What is the need for employees' performance to be assessed? Because companies having goals or objectives to achieve. So to achieve certain goals or objectives, most probably, if suppose if it is a telecom industry or a DTH industry, if it is a telecom or DTH, their main focus will be on market share. They want to attain a maximum market share and they want to retain the number one position. For that, they will drive the employees to achieve the target. So if suppose if the employee is not achieving the target, automatically the company will lose its market share and it will lose its position in the market, which means competitor will capture the place. Simple. So companies will keep eye on employees and their performances. This will be done by the HR. So the employees of any organization will be evaluated by the HR department as per the performance. This function is human resources management is to help the organization finding out if the employee they have hired is moving towards the goals and objectives of the organization. On the other hand, it also helps the company to evaluate whether the employee needs improvement in other areas. It also helps the HR team in drawing certain development plans for those employees who have not met the minimum requirements of the job. So not only assessing the employees, but also it will assess whether the employee is having interest in other areas. Apart from if suppose there might be an employee who is very much interested, who is very much interested in sales and marketing, but he might be in service department. So HR will assess the employee. If suppose if he is really interested in sales, then he will be transferred to sales department. For that, this performance appraisal will be the key parameter for the HR. Next one is ensuring legal compliances. What is ensuring legal compliances? See, as an HR manager or HR, he should be aware of all the laws and legal procedures of the particular state and the country. Otherwise, it will be a big mess for the company. Because if suppose if the employees are asked to work on national holidays, that is on August 15, February 15, on January 26, May 1st, Labor Day, these 3 days are national holidays. If suppose if the employees are working on national holidays, then there is a procedure to be followed. These procedures needs to be HR should aware of all these procedures. Otherwise, government will take a legal action against the labor department or a government or a labor department will take a legal action against the company. So it will become a big problem for the company and for the HR. So this HR should know each and every law, minimum wages law, what is minimum wages law, what is the minimum salary offered to the employee. So minimum wages law, minimum wages law will depend upon state to state. So they have to be very aware of the law and then tax allowances, overtime allowances, working hours, working conditions, all these things the HR should aware. Such laws is very much required for the existence of an organization. Otherwise, organization will suffer. So now we have discussed about the operation functions of the HRM. There are six operation functions of the HRM. Now we are going to see managerial functions of the HRM. So managerial functions of the HRM is comprises of is subdivided into four categories. One is planning, second is directing, third one is organizing, fourth one is controlling. So first one is planning. What is planning? This function is very vital to set goals and objectives of an organization. The policies and procedures are laid down to achieve these goals. When it comes to planning, the first thing is to foresee vacancy, set the job requirement, and design the requirement sources. For every job group, a demand and supply forecast is to be made. This requires an HR manager to be aware of both job market and strategic goals of the company. Shortage versus the excess of employees. What that given job categories determined for a given period. In the end, a plan is ascertained to eliminate the shortage of employees. So planning. So before executing anything, there should be a proper planning. If suppose if a company is in requirement of some 100 manpower, HR should plan and they recruit 100 manpower. If suppose if they require 200 manpower, then the excess manpower will be waste for the company. And if suppose if they are hiring only 50 manpower, then the burden will be on the 50 manpower instead of 100 manpower. They are hiring only 50 manpower, so work will be workload will be more on the 50 manpower. So the HR should balance. The excess should not hire excess manpower, also should not hire less manpower. They have to hire the manpower based on the planning. What is the planning? Why should the planning is important here? Because there is a goal or the objective of the company. Goal and objective of the company is to be achieved by proper planning. So planning by HRM is very much crucial in any organization. Second, organization. Organizing. What is organizing? The most once the planning is done, we have to organize the things. How will you organize the things? See, the next major managerial function is to develop and design the structure of the organization. It fundamentally includes the following: employees are grouped into positions or activities they will be performing. Allocate different functions to different persons. Delegate authorities as per the task and responsibilities that are assigned. See, if suppose if a guy is been selected, okay, recruited for a sales, you should give a sales job. If the guy is recruited for an accounts job, you should be given accounts. You should be deployed in accounts department. Instead, if you deploy a salesperson in accounts department, the accounts person is salesman, then everything will become collapse. So the HR job is to organize according to the company objectives. Third one is directing. Once the planning and organizing is done, directing. So what is directing? This function is preordinated to inspire and direct the employees to achieve the goals. This can be attained by having in place proper planning of careers of employees, various motivational methods, and having friendly relationship with the manpower. This is great challenge to any HR manager of an organization. You should have the capability and the capacity of finding employee needs and ways to satisfy them. Motivation will be the continuous process here as new needs may come forward as the old ones get fulfilled. So directing is nothing but motivating the employees to achieve the target. How will you motivate the employees? Through R&R. What is R&R? Rewards and recognition. If suppose if an employee achieves something, if suppose there is thousand number is a target for that employee. If he achieves the target, then you get an incentive, cash incentive of 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees, or a certificate, and even a memento, whatever it may be. So R&R is nothing but rewards and recognition. If suppose if the rewards and recognition given to the employees, definitely he will be motivated and he will try to give his 100% commitment. Otherwise, he will do what based only for for the sake of working. He will work and he will not produce any output. So, directing is nothing but directing is one of the important aspects or important functions in the managerial function, because motivating the employees is crucial. Otherwise, the employees will get demotivated. If they get demotivated, what will happen? If they get demotivated, then they will not achieve the target. Very simple. They will not achieve the target. They will not achieve the target. If they are not achieving the target, automatically company's objectives will not be achieved. Once the company is not doing good, automatically it loses market share or the position in the market. So what will happen? Competitor will capture the market. So directing is one of the important aspects in the managerial function. And last one is the control. What is controlling? Control is concerned with the apprehension of activities as per plans, which was formulated on the basis of goals of the company. The controlling function ends the cycle and again prompts for planning. Here, the HRM makes an examination of outcome achieved with the standards that were set in the planning stage to see if there are any deviations from the set standards. Hence, any deviation can be corrected on the next cycle. See, controlling is nothing but HRM will keep a close look at the employees and their performance. If suppose if they feel that the employee is not doing good, or if the employee is going in a wrong direction, they will redirect the employees and they will try to improve his performance. That is what controlling is of. Here, controlling means don't think that controlling, hey, do whatever I say. It is not like that. It is actually redirecting or directing the employees to go into the right direction. If suppose if the employee is not doing good, and if suppose if he is not performing well, then the HR manager should call this employee and ask what is the reason for not performing well. Then they will, if suppose if any additional training is required, they will provide additional training. If suppose if any additional this thing, any apart from training, if suppose more, any motivational this thing is required, they will provide motivation tags and they will give some incentives. Whatever maybe, they will try to convince the employee and they will redirect him to go to the right path so that he will achieve the target. Once he achieves the target, obviously company will do good. The next one is the advisory function. What is advisory function? Advisory function is of two types. One is top management advice, second is departmental head advice. See, the top management advice, the HR manager is a pillar for top management and low management. So what are the low managers, the low level management? See, for example, area sales manager or sales executive will not directly go and speak to the CEO of the company or a CSO of the company, but instead they will speak to the HR. So HR will bring all the concerns, the employees' concerns, and they will take it to the notice of the top level management so that the management will take a decision. For that only top management advice is required. So HR manager is a specialist in human resources manager function. He can advise the top management in formulating policies and procedures. He can also recommend the top management for the appraisal of manpower which they feel apt. This function also involves advice regarding maintaining high quality human relations and far above the ground employee model. Next one is departmental head advice. See, the HR will not go to each and every employee and they will advise what is good, what is bad, what is wrong, and what is right. So what they will do, instead of going to the employee, they will speak to the department heads, sales head, marketing head, service head, finance head, accounts head, IT head, legal head. There are a lot of departments in a concern or company. So they will tell the concerns or they will tell the they will give the address to the department. In turn, the department heads will pass on the message to the employees or the subordinates. So that is what will run smoothly. So here it will conclude our functions of HRM. In the next class, we will discuss what are the importance of HRM. Thank you.